Hello everyone, welcome to Nga, yet again, here we go. Today we have a very special episode happening, and that is going to be me giving a showcase of a Conlang made by one of my friends from my Conlang Linguistics group chats on Instagram, Cantwell, and we're going to be reviewing his language, which is conveniently also called Käntwo. Alright, so here we go. Cantwell, a Conlang by Can. Here we have his little country ball. So Cantwell is a development from Can's childhood. He's been building this fictional universe for a long time. This language is special in that it was originally meant to be a derivation of ancient Hebrew combined with ancient Greek. Let that go for a little while, and then he ended up incorporating a lot more Proto-Indo-European traits to it, and especially inspired by languages like in the Xinjiang region of China. Xinjiang. I'm taking a Chinese class in the Tarim Basin. Better than I could explain it, I have audio clips from Cantwell himself explaining some of the backstory for his language, so I'm going to pull that up real quick.
When I started Käntwo, I already had been doing some conlanging, mostly for like a con world I created many years ago. Like now I'm 17 and I think I was like 11 or 12 when I started the con world. Started writing a novel about the con world. Yeah, I also included some of the languages I created in the book or in the novel, which is far from being completed, but yeah. And so at the time I started Käntwo, I had a huge interest in Semitic languages and Indo-European languages. I just decided to and make my own language based on exactly Semitic and Indo-European languages.
As we'll see later on, you can really taste the Proto-Indo-European in it. I mean, I'm not a real pro with like Afro-Asiatic languages, so I probably wouldn't be able to tell much of the Hebrew roots, though there's one thing that I do notice, and we'll get to that in a second. So there's really 2 or 2.5 Käntwo languages. We're studying 1/1.5 of them. So Cantwell has different dialects. We have Käntwo, which is the language of the book, basically, is the old standard language used in Yonselo, which is often used in literature and for religious purposes. Nowadays, 2 variants of the language exist: Eastern Käntwo, Käntwo Purvosh, and Western Käntwo, which is Käntwo Pashchimo. Käntwo usually uses Eastern Käntwos, and it is almost the same as old or classical Käntwos or Käntwos Chedos, which is basically the same thing, except the way the verbs work is kind of flipped, and you'll see. Yeah, so this area is a map drawn by Cantwell of the region where Cantwell is spoken. In the central area, you have Yoyo in the region, which I am presuming to be Yoyolia, while the wider country itself is gonna be Yonselo, or Yonsello. So here's the alphabet in the romanization form. Long vowels going over certain vowels here. Umlauts over some A's and O's. And then we have the consonants. We go B, D, G, F, H, J. And then we have Y. We have K, La, Ma, Na, Pa, Qa. And then we have R, which is a trill. We have S. We have an S with the... What is that thing called? The charon? Charon. I was right. We have ta, and then we have W. We have X, which makes the x, the classic x sound. Then we have ch, which can be done for a ch or a ch. And then we have C with the charon, C with the charon, which makes the cha sound. Here we have the alphabet for Cantwell. So yeah, here we go. We have a very nice looking alphabet. Definitely straight up alphabet. It looks like something that you would see in ancient Phoenicia, which fits with the original purpose of the language. You can see the Phoenician early writing system vibes coming out of here. So here I have a IPA consonant chart here that shows all the phonemic consonants in Käntwo. P, B, T, D. We have a K, which can vary to a Q, G, Ch, X, F, S, Ts, Sh, J, H, H, R, V, Y, La, Ma, and Na. The vowels, we have a 7 vowel system here. A, E, U, O. And the diphthongs, Ao, A, I, and one that apparently semi-exists in O. Very nice. Moving on to the grammatical structure, subject, verb, object order. Jan silegati dum zaken. The child reads the old book fast, and that is in the classical version of Käntwo. But in modern Eastern Käntwo, it would be Jan legasi dum zaken. And the only difference really is that the verbs have switched. In classical Cantwell, the verbs are conjugated in the form of prefixes, and these change to suffixes in modern Eastern Cantwell. So we conjugate for person as a suffix now in modern Cantwell, and we conjugate for tense in a prefix. But that was switched completely 180 during the classical Cantwell period. So in this version here, we have a singular, we have a first singular, a second singular, a third singular. This third singular having a neutral and a male/female option. And then we have a first dual, a second dual, and a third dual, and then we have first plural, second plural, and third plural. Correct me if I am wrong, but I think that including a dual system like that is akin to ancient Greek. Kudos to the ancient references. I'm loving it. Yeah, and then for future, you put the prefix is on the beginning of the verb. Present, there's nothing added. It's the base, which makes sense. And then for past, we have ja added onto the beginning of it. Something that is very fun about Cantwell is the noun cases. Now, you know, basic nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative, meaning like how or by what means. But that's not all. No. There's more. We have vocative. Oh Lord, I worship you, as in this example. Then we have 3 different types of locative cases in Cantwell. One that implies location, like at or in, within. We have this locative 2, which means upon something, like the location of an object on some other object. Then we have locative 3, which means where and near where, or near what, or whom, or etc. Instrumental, meaning with what, using a knife. Then we have allative, which means, like, how would you explain allative? In what, through what, and to where. Like this says, I go into the house, I go through the river, I go to yo-yo. Very good use of having, 11 cases? Very impressive. I like. Very nice. The really cool and outstanding feature of this language is that Cantwell has a divine nominative plural, meaning that anything that is like a spiritual or godly entity, if you're talking about it in the plural sense, then there's a special ending which relates to Hebrew, and it's the im ending, right? You can see the influence right here, where ilu is a singular, like the god, whereas iluim is the gods. That reminds me of Elohim in actual, what is that, ancient Hebrew, ancient Akkadian, all those things, meaning like, gods, essentially. Yes, noun declensions. Now, before Käntwo showed me his language, did I know what a declension was? No, not at all. After doing some research to understand it myself before talking about it, I understand it too, and I like it, and I'm gonna make a video on noun declensions at some point. But, Cantwell, there are 6 classes of declension, and they all depend on what kind of sound the word ends on, right? So if you have in any nominative case word, or just like the general root word, if it ends on an A, there's an A class, there's an E class, there's an I class, there's an O class, a U class, and a consonant class. And this all determines how things are conjugated depending on these sounds that they end with. As we can see, here's A class. I'm not going to go through all of them, but because a lot of them are very similar in each of the classes, but there are notable differences that make them each unique and something that needs to be memorized if you're going to learn Cantwell. And I love that. It looks realistic because of how similar some things are, how some of them are like exactly the same and other ones are like off just enough to look natural. Very naturalistic, very lovely. This A class word for versa, right? Versa ends with an A. So nominative, versa, plural that, versava. Then we have versos, versanam, versa, versevia, versum, versum, versan, versocha, versevia, verso, versova, versau, versashu, versaum, versashum, versaum, versashun, versom, versomi, versoi, versashoi. I like that. Not only that, but look at that word that means water. Versa. Tocharian is like my wet dream, and the fact that you utilized Tocharian in the making of this language makes me very happy, and it has not gone unnoticed. Thank you, Can. Then we have the E class, where a lot of these things are similar, but a few of them are different just to compensate. I class word. A couple slight differences in there just to make it seem more natural, and I like it. Suvo, which means pig, like swine in English. I love it. Thank you. So we have vayu, which means wind here. All the names of the cases are the same in English and German, just like with switch out the C's and K's and add E's after all the ending V's. Oh, haknish, which means fire in Cantwell, related to Agni like in ancient Greek and all that. Now we have some texts here. We have various phrases. I'm going to let Cantwo's voice recordings say these for me. Again, this is his language and he provided me with these audio recordings, so I'm just gonna go with it. So first we have his Tower of Babel translation.
Idi tekam kul sti hesmija oinos kentvos. Idi oinos tezatikos. Idi shis sti karatija koda. Inti mazatija utpurva tot inti panatija amnazum krashtazau shinar. Idi inti zakenatija ei.
It's beautiful. I like it. And of course, if you don't know what the Babel text is, it's like a classic thing that conlangers like to translate. Next, we have a few common phrases that he is also going to explain.
Here. Hello. Can. Yes. La. No. Tengvatik. Thanks. La hesmi la vergatit hesmi umanar.
Which means, I am not unemployed. I am an artist. Very inspirational, again.
Huizami yoyau. Bitumum rovau gelar. Bitua la vineikios ei. Pos plucham.
Which means, I live in Yo-Yo. My house is in the quarter Gelar. The houses are the most colorful there. Like the rainbow. I want to learn this language.
Samova priya intikmus.
Drugs make me happy. This video is not intended for children under the age of 13. As we go on to images of naked people. Yes, so we have a nice set of other diagrams that he's made, including a nice map that details the cell and the powerhouse of the cell. I'm very proud. I like that. I kind of want to do something like this for my language. It's very inspirational. It's a good idea to have just like a map of the body, because like body parts, in any language where the speakers have bodies. That's gonna be an important element to it. So he sent me the dictionary, and the dictionary, it's big. Look at that. He's got 2,364 words in there. I'm just gonna scroll through this for a little bit. Not only that, but even if you were wondering what the origins of them were, you can slide over a couple columns, and you can see at least where all of these things come from, where all these words come from. I'm very happy with this language. It is a very, very impressive language. Thank you so much, Cantwell, for sharing your language with me and letting me make a video about your language. And I'm definitely plugging your Instagram and your YouTube channel and all that. It's gonna be backwards probably. If anybody else wants me to review their languages that in this very casual, slightly memey way, then yeah, just send me an email at ngamail@gmail.com or message me on Instagram and I will get back to you and we'll do it. I already actually have a couple more Conlang showcases scheduled. It's not going to be immediate, but it's going to happen, especially as I will be graduating very soon. I should have more time. So this is goodbye. This is thanks. So I'm going to say Tankvatik Vresaka. Oh god. Tankvatik Vresakyatik. Oh yeah, and bye-bye everyone. Vresakyatik.
Yeah. So Käntwo was also the first conlang I decided to share on the internet. That's why I made an Instagram account for my conlang. And yeah, so basically that's when I discovered the real conlanging community on Instagram and on the internet in general. And yeah, so if you're interested, you can also see my posts on new vocabulary and conworld stuff on my Instagram account. So yeah, that's also where I met most other conlangers I know. But in general, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, and I tried to make very beautiful words and also very weird words, but that's also mostly because of the bad influence of yeah, the other conlangers, because most of us are very odd. So yeah.